IKEA is one of the most successful retail companies in the world today. You think their success comes from their store layout, showrooms, or the way everything is designed to guide you from one section to the next. But that's not really the reason IKEA works. IKEA chose to do something completely backwards. It comes from a small decision that didn't seem like a big deal at the time, but ended up changing how people buy. I'm Sinde, and this is The Underrated. We share stories that showcase game-changing strategies and moments that shape business, music, sports, and culture as we know it today. IKEA was founded in 1943 by Ingvar Kamprad in Sweden. In the early days, it didn't start as a furniture company. It started out selling small household goods like cups and plates before moving into furniture as demand grew. As the company began to grow, Kamprad made a decision that seemed simple at the time, but ended up changing everything for the business. Instead of selling furniture already assembled, IKEA made people take it home in flat boxes and build it themselves. This idea actually came from Gillis Lundgren, who was one of IKEA's first ever employees. What happened is he couldn't fit a table in his car and had to screw the legs off the table just to make it fit. They found that flat packed products take up to 70% less space than pre-assembled pieces, which help them save billions in logistic costs and offer lower prices. But over time, that decision started to do something much bigger. When people built the furniture themselves, it became more than putting pieces together. The time, effort, and attention in assembling the furniture made the final product feel different. The process of assembling the furniture naturally increased the value of it to the person who assembled it. Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called the IKEA effect, a term coined by Harvard, Yale, and Duke researchers Michael Norton, Daniel McCahon, and Dan Ariely. In their experiments, people were willing to pay up to 63% more for furniture they had assembled themselves, compared to the identical pre-built items just because they put in the effort. That shift from buying to building became one of IKEA's biggest advantages. As IKEA expanded, they started thinking about how to extend the same sense of involvement into the entire shopping experience. Instead of designing stores for speed and efficiency, they built them to slow people down. They deliberately guided customers through a single path that moved them from one fully designed space to another. Kitchens, bedrooms, living rooms. These weren't just displays, but complete environments that felt real and lived in. Even the cafe wasn't a coincidence. IKEA started selling food because shoppers would leave the store at lunchtime and often didn't come back. Providing affordable meals kept them inside longer, and people who ate at IKEA restaurants have been shown to spend around 23% more on furniture and home goods. Okay, fun fact. Did you know IKEA even sells over 1 billion Swedish meatballs each year? Crazy. I mean, I love these Swedish meatballs. I'm obsessed. I can never go to IKEA without having these meatballs. IKEA's restaurants now serve around 800 million meals a year to keep shoppers in the store and engaged with the experience. IKEA was strategic with everything. As you moved through IKEA's curated spaces, you began to imagine. Without realizing it, you started placing that couch you see in your living room, that table in your kitchen, that bed in your bedroom. As that imagination becomes clearer, the product itself starts to feel more personal to you. The longer you lived in that imagined state, the stronger that connection becomes to the product. Over time, IKEA realized that the longer customers remained in the store, the more likely they were to buy. They learned that customers who spend 90 minutes or more inside IKEA are far more likely to make multiple purchases than those who browse for less than 30 minutes. They designed wider spaces and family-friendly areas that made it easier to stay longer without feeling rushed. All of it worked together to extend the time a customer stayed inside the store. As that time increased, so did the level of attachment to the things around them. By the time people got to the warehouse, they'd basically already made up their mind. They'd seen the products, imagined them in their homes, and already committed to them in their heads. Even the quirky way IKEA names products was purely intentional. The reason behind this was Kamprad had dyslexia. So he opted for Swedish words instead of confusing numbers, which gave the brand a personality that was impossible to forget. For customers, the last step in their shopping experience was finding the item, putting the flat box onto their cart, and head toward the checkout. And in that small moment of effort, the product already started to feel like it belonged to them. At that moment, it doesn't feel like shopping anymore. It feels like finishing something you already started. And over time, all of these decisions started to stack. Having customers build the furniture themselves created effort. Designing stores made people slow down time. Showing them fully built rooms sparked their imagination. Individually, none of these things felt like a big deal, but put together, these choices didn't just change how IKEA sold furniture. They changed how the entire industry thought about it. Flat pack furniture is now everywhere. Brands like Wayfair to big box retailers sell self-assembly pieces because customers now expect affordable, modular design. IKEA also helps shift how stores think about experience. Today, showrooms and even food offerings are common because retailers learned that with time spent, imagination sparked, and impacted sales. In a real way, IKEA didn't just lower furniture prices. They rewrote the playbook for how we buy furniture altogether. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to share your thoughts and subscribe to the channel. We release videos like this every Wednesday on YouTube.